So here we are, Box Park at Wembley Stadium, just across the way from here, and we are now all set for the weigh-in live here on BT Sport. Our commentators will be Richie Woodall, and you'll hear from Darren Fletcher in a moment, but introducing the fighters onto the stage for the first part of the weigh-in, our MC, Thomas Treiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official weigh-in. And we welcome those of you watching live on BT Sport as we get set for a historic night of World Championship Boxing tomorrow at Wembley Stadium in London. It is all being brought to you by Frank Warren on behalf of Queensberry in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with their great sponsors, 32 Red, Foot Asylum, Unibet, Coinfield, and Arnold Clark. If you are unable to join us at the stadium, you can watch it live on BT Sport Box Office and in the United States on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to begin the weigh-in process with our undercard fighters. These two combatants competing tomorrow in a scheduled 4-round international featherweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from Bucharest, Romania. He has 36 professional bouts to his credit. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the scale, Stefan Nicolai.
So good afternoon, everybody. Just to echo what Paul and the team were saying, Richie Woodall, the atmosphere in here is fantastic. They're absolutely jam-packed in, and the fighters are going to make their way out in card order tomorrow night, starting off with Stefan Nicolai from Bucharest in Romania, and he'll be followed onto the stage to weigh in by Kurt Walker, who's going to be fighting for the second time as a professional. The man we're seeing on the television screen at the moment is significantly more experienced than who he's going to be in with tomorrow night.
Yes, he's indeed Stefan Nicolai.
127.4. 127.4 for Stefan Nicolai.
Yes, very experienced, Fletch, and it's going to be a step up for Kurt
And
Walker.
now we will welcome to the scale his opponent tomorrow night.
Kurt Walker's a very good
from
lad.
Lisburn, Northern Ireland. He is undefeated with one win. That one win comes by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Kurt Walker.
Former Olympian Fletch, Kurt Walker was on the Irish International Amateur Programme for about probably 10 or 11 years.
129 pounds.
Won Commonwealth Games medals, European medals, multi-nation tournaments everywhere. A very experienced international amateur boxer, and he's got a big future.
I'll tell you what is special for all of these fighters on the undercard, and it probably takes you back to early in your career. Having the opportunity to be part of this today and then to be part of it tomorrow is going to mean so much to them, so much experience, such an opportunity for them to be part of this massive bill, 94,000 people at Wembley Stadium. It probably takes you back as well.
Yes, it does indeed. I mean, my third contest, I think I was boxing at the Royal Albert Hall. One of my heroes as a kid was Kurt Lang. He was a fantastic fighter, and I was on his bill. Not quite 94,000, but still an iconic venue, the Royal Albert Hall, and certainly brings me back. And yeah, it's great experience for these lads to be involved in this type of event and to be boxing out there in front of 95,000 people. That is incredible.
And what you would say as well, for some of them lower down on the card, the fighters who are going to be fighting early tomorrow night, the crowd here for the weigh-in today is probably bigger than some of the crowds that they've been fighting in front of.
Absolutely, yes, definitely. The weigh-ins now, they seem to be just as exciting as some of the contests. But yeah, it's great to see that British boxing fans come out in their hundreds and thousands, literally, to watch the weigh-ins.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 4-round international light heavyweight contest. First to the scale, coming to us from Poland. His professional record, 2 wins, 11 defeats. One of his 2 wins comes by way of knockout. Let's welcome to the scale, Michal Siach.
So Michal Siach from Poznan in Poland is going to be up against the explosive light heavyweight from Chatham in Kent, Karol Itauma. He does fight all over the place, Mikhail Siach. It's his 5th fight in 5 different countries. He's been stopped 5 times, and I think he's really going to have his work cut out against Karol Itauma, who's really making a name for himself.
Yes, he will indeed. But they're tough kids, the Polish boxers.
175 pounds and 12 ounces.
And he looks in great condition.
For Mikhail Siach.
So yes, he's up against it against Karol Itauma, but nevertheless, like I say, there's
Next
Karol
to
there.
the scale from Chatham, Kent, England. He had a stellar amateur career, becoming a 2018 Youth Olympic gold medalist, and now as a professional is undefeated with 6 wins. 4 of his 6 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Karol Itauma.
The press conference yesterday, Richie, he said that the first time he'd been inside Wembley Stadium
175 pounds and 12 ounces
was yesterday
for Karol Itauma.
to speak to the press. He's never been in there before. He'd never been to watch a football match. It was his first experience of Wembley, and he was like a kid at Christmas yesterday, Karol Itauma.
Well, that's fantastic, isn't it? And this lad, I've watched him from the amateurs. He was up at GB for a while, up at the English Institute of Sport on a couple of assessments up there. Really, really well-schooled boxer. Obviously won that Youth Olympic gold. Tremendous athlete.
Once
very
again, ladies and
skillful,
gentlemen, these two
southpaw.
competing
He's got the height to reach over his opponent.
4-round international
A massive future for
light
him.
heavyweight contest.
And what I would say with this one tomorrow, don't blink, don't take your eyes off Karol Itauma, because he can end the fight at any moment. Very, very hard punching. And he's unbeaten. 4 knockouts, 6 wins, 21 years of age, and a very, very good prospect.
Good prospect, lovely boxer, well schooled, and as you say, he's got that punching power as well. 4 knockouts in his 6 victories, so yeah, he's going great guns.
We continue the weigh-in process. Our next 2 combatants competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 4-round super featherweight contest. First to the scale, fighting out of Swindon by way of his native country of Romania. He has 10 professional bouts to his credit. Let's welcome to the scale, Constantine Radoi.
So Constantine Radoi from Romania, based in Swindon. He's only been stopped once. Charles Frankham, the only man to stop him in his 10 professional fights. Hasn't won yet, and he's up against a very, very talented young man, the teenager Royston Smith, who says he wants to be Britain's youngest ever world champion. He's got about 3 years to do that if he's going to be younger than Prince Nassim Hamed, and he oozed
132
class
pounds
whenever we see him in the ring.
And Constantine Radoi.
He oozed confidence at the press
now
conference
we welcome
yesterday.
to the scale from Southampton,
Absolutely.
Hampshire.
Young
He
kid.
had a stellar amateur career, and now as a professional is undefeated with 1 victory. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Royston Smith, a.k.a. Sugar Boy Roy.
And he's got a few supporters in here at the box park. And trains with current world champions
132 pounds.
Lee Wood and Josh Taylor.
132 for Royston Smith.
And he's got Ben Davison in his corner as well, so there is a link to the Tyson Fury camp as well. But he's one to keep an eye on, not just tomorrow night, but he's got big ambitions and a boatload of talent to back it up.
Yeah, I was impressed with him in his opening contest against Aiden Martinez. He boxed very well, loads of skills, he won on points, and he was a little bit disappointed with himself that he didn't get the stoppage, but he showed some lovely class. He's boxed very well behind his jab, he's got all the shots, the uppercuts and the hooks are all there. Skillful lad. So yes, a big future and a massive stage again for him.
I said yesterday, the
Once again,
family
ladies and
slogan
gentlemen,
is
these two
too
competing
blessed
tomorrow
to
night
be
in a
stressed,
scheduled
so you would
4-round
expect him to take it all in his stride.
featherweight contest.
So Royston Smith, his 2nd professional fight, 18 years of age, up against Constantine Radoi from Romania.
You know what, Fletcher, as well, it's great to see Lennox Lewis here again. Another one of my heroes, Lennox Lewis. I remember seeing him in the Olympics. I went to the same Olympics as him as '88, and he won the gold, obviously, for Canada. Tremendous fighter. What a jab he had, Lennox.
I'll tell you what we did see a few moments ago, a lovely embrace just to our right-hand side between John Fury and Dillian Whyte. They were the two who were nose to nose at the press conference on Wednesday, so that was nice. All animosity gone, big smiles on their faces. They even shadow boxed against each other for a minute, which the crowd really enjoyed as well, so that's all okay now. So next up we're going to see Chris Healy and David Adelaide, who are going to be the next two fighters to weigh in. 8 rounds at heavyweight. David Adelaide was telling a wonderful story about a tattoo that he had when he was on his arm of a young boy in a boxing glove, pointing at a stadium, kind of pointing at this stadium, and he said it feels like destiny for him, so it was written in the stars for him.
Our next two combatants to the scale, competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 8-round heavyweight contest. We will first welcome to the scale from Stockport, Lancashire. He has a professional record consisting of 9 wins, 8 defeats. 2 of his 9 wins come by way of knockout. Let's welcome to the scale the current Central Area heavyweight champion, Chris Healy.
So here's Chris Healy. Only had a couple of fights since December of 2019, 33. And he's up against a big puncher in David Adelaide. I think they had quite a few opponents pull out or didn't fancy it. He made a point, David Adelaide, to thank Chris Healy for taking the fight. And he's already got a bit of a cult following in here at the Box Park. Nice to see a big smile on his face.
282 pounds.
Yeah, fair play to him, Fletcher. You know, he stepped up. David Adelaide is a big puncher and a big prospect. So Chris Healy's taking up the challenge.
London, undefeated with 8 wins. 7 of his 8 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is David, the Chosen One, Adelaide.
Big cheer for David Adelaide, who's been all business all week. He's been part of the team preparing Tyson Fury for the big one against Dillian Whyte. He's been in there sparring. He said he felt like a student and he was soaking everything up, taking it all in, learning as much as he could while he was in the camp with the champion.
And that's what you hear about David Adelaide. Before he even turned pro, he was going around the gym sparring anybody and everybody who wanted to get in with him. And yeah, he is a talent, he really is. He can punch, 8-0 at the moment, and he looks in great condition.
232 pounds and 6 ounces for David Adelaide.
Nice big smile on the face of David Adelaide, who's going to be looking for another stoppage victory tomorrow night as he tries to climb the heavyweight
Once
rankings.
again, ladies and gentlemen, these two competing tomorrow night in a scheduled 8-round heavyweight contest.
And you know what, Fletch, that's how you learn in boxing, referring to those sparring sessions, sparring Tyson Fury, he sparred Anthony Joshua, he sparred Dillian Whyte in the past, so he's getting a bit from all of these great heavyweights, and he's learning, the lad is David Adelaide. But he's up against Chris Healy, and Healy, fair play to him, he stepped up to the plate, so let's look forward to that.
It's going to be quite a cheer, I would think, imminently. The next two fighters are going to be Daniel Bocianski, and he's fighting Tommy Fury. A lot of Fury supporters in the room, of course, whether you're here for Tyson or for Tommy or for both of them. I would expect quite a warm reception for Tommy Fury when he steps on the stage in the next minute or two. He's going to be fighting 6 rounds at light heavyweight. Spoke a lot very openly yesterday about what he wants to do in boxing. He says he doesn't feel he's achieved anything yet. He said all the Love Island stuff and the social media followers don't mean anything to him. He wants to prove himself in the boxing ring and prove that he's a genuine fighter and wants to go as far as he can. Spoke about Jake Paul as well again yesterday. That continues to kind of burn away in the background, doesn't it? Let's get back up to Thomas Treiber.
Our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in a 6-round international light heavyweight contest. First to the scale, coming to us from Poland. He brings a professional record of 10 wins, just 1 defeat. 2 of his 10 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Daniel Bocianski.
So here is the 27-year-old Pole, Daniel Bocianski. This does look like Tommy Fury's biggest test so far, doesn't it? 10-1, he's got a decent record himself, and the general consensus is that Tommy Fury's going to get his biggest workout so far tomorrow night.
This is a step up for Fury, no question. But I remember speaking to John Fury months and months ago about Tommy and his progress, and he wants him to have as many contests as he can before he really steps up, because he knows that Tommy's got to learn on the job. He's had hardly any amateur experience, and he's up against someone tonight who's 10-1, so this guy's got a winning mentality. It's a different type of contest for Tommy. It's a tougher contest.
175 pounds, 175 for Daniel Bocianski. We now welcome to the scale from Manchester, England. He is undefeated with 7 wins. 4 of his 7 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Tommy TNT Fury.
There is a common opponent between these two, Richie, Chemak Binienda. Now, Bocianski needed 6 rounds to get a majority decision against him, and Tommy Fury took him out in 62 seconds. Whether we can read anything into that, we'll find out tomorrow night. Tommy Fury did say yesterday in the press conference, though, that this is a more difficult test for him, in his opinion, than Jake Paul would be.
Well, fair comment. Bocianski, remember, also, he's not really a big puncher. He's got those 10 wins out of the 11 contests. Only 2 knockouts, remember. So it is a step up, but it's a calculated risk, this was for Tommy Fury. He's 7-0 at the moment, Tommy, with 4 knockouts. Looks in good condition. And being in the same training camp as his brother Tyson, for instance, is fantastic for him anyway.
For Tommy Fury.
As Richie says, in fantastic condition for the fight, those piercing blue eyes. He's got a big part to play on the undercard tomorrow night. It'll be such an exciting night for him when you think about his fight. Then he's got to sit back and watch his brother in the main event for the WBC Ring Magazine and Lineal Heavyweight Championship of the World. 94,000 people are going to be about, 200 yards from where we're standing right now in the box park in Wembley Stadium tomorrow night. By the time Tommy Fury and Daniel Bocianski step through the ropes to get into the ring, it's going to be reaching fever pitch, because we're going to be getting closer and closer to the main event.
Look at that flex. Bocianski a little bit taller than Tommy Fury, so it's a different type of problem that Tommy's got. Boxing a taller opponent. Hasn't boxed many taller than himself. So this should be a decent fight for Tommy Fury and for Bocianski.
They're both of them looking fantastic condition.
And that can be a problem, when there's 94,000 people, Fletch, because you've got to keep those invisible blinkers on. You've got to concentrate on your own game, your own performance. There's a lot of distractions in a big crowd in a big arena, so it's a big test for the younger fighters.
So Tommy Fury, Daniel Bocianski. Fury's gone the distance in his last 2 fights, his last one being in August last year in Cleveland, Ohio, against Anthony Taylor. 2 of his 4 knockouts have been in the first 2 rounds, so he can do a bit of damage when he connects early. And if he can impress against Bocianski tomorrow night, then it does represent a step forward, Richie, doesn't it?
It does indeed, and I like the way he's going about things, Tommy Fury. He boxes very well. He listens to his corners. He's boxing behind his jab and then bringing his right hand through, putting the power shots together when he needs to, but always sticking behind that boxing and that lead hand, which is important.
To see Tommy's girlfriend Molly May Haig with him here at the box park. Lots and lots of people inside and outside the building ready for the weigh-in for the heavyweight championship in a few minutes' time. Now, this next one could be a little bit spicy, because it was yesterday. Isaac Lowe and Nick Ball. It could be the fight of the night. The 2 fellas who are going to step onto the stage in a minute certainly think it will be.
Our next two combatants to the scale competing tomorrow night in a 10-round contest, and it will be for the vacant WBC Silver Featherweight Championship. First to the scale from Liverpool, England. He is undefeated with 14 wins. 7 of his 14 wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Nick Ball.
So Nick Ball at Liverpool walks onto the stage unbeaten, but this is a big step up for him. He's full of confidence. He was yesterday. Didn't say a great deal at the press conference, but you can tell by the look in his eyes that he's pretty confident for this one tomorrow night. And he, like Isaac Lowe, said that he won't be taking a step backwards. He plans on beating him in the middle of the ring, and they'll find out who's going to buckle first, I think.
I've been impressed with Nick Ball since he's turned pro. 14 wins, remember, 7 knockouts. Very explosive.
125 pounds and 8 ounces.
And this should be a cracking contest, but Nick Ball he hasn't put a punch wrong in his career so far, but this is a big step up.
We will now welcome to the scale his opponent tomorrow night in this championship contest. He hails from Morecambe, England. He has a professional record consisting of 21 wins, just 1 defeat, 3 draws. 6 of his wins come by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Isaac Westgate Warrior Lowe.
The very popular and fired up Isaac Lowe. Lost for the first time as a professional in his last fight against the Mexican Luis Alberto Lopez at York Hall in December, and he was quite honest yesterday. He said, look, if I can't beat Nick Ball, there's nowhere for me to go. So there's lots on the line for him tomorrow.
There is indeed, and remember against Lopez he was beaten with a body shot in the 7th round, and that will encourage Nick Ball, because Nick Ball punches very well to the body. He's a good body puncher. But Isaac Lowe looks in good condition. He's a former featherweight Commonwealth champion, remember, and he's also drew for the European title, so he has the experience on his side.
125 pounds and 4 ounces.
And they're both fired up for this one,
Isaac Lowe.
Fighting over 10 rounds for the vacant WBC Silver Featherweight title. The face-off could be interesting because it was yesterday.
Yes, indeed. Well, you only have to look at the physique of both boxers. They're both in good condition, but they're both totally different sort of statures and physiques. Nick Ball is shorter, more rounded, stockier. Isaac Lowe taller. Let's have a look at them now. So there's a bit of height and reach, but they're both in good condition. But look at the physique on both of them. It's different. The height and reach is low, but Ball is more compact.
In a scheduled 10-round contest, and it will be for the vacant WBC Silver Featherweight Championship.
Isaac Lowe doing the talking, Nick Ball doing the staring. The quiet man against a man who's always got plenty to say.
There's going to be fireworks tomorrow night, and Isaac Lowe, he's certainly pumped up for it, isn't he? Lowe, most certainly, but Nick Ball, it's going to be a test for him, physically and mentally, remember. But yeah, they're both having a go at each other now.
Frank Warren ready to step in if he needs to. Nick Ball decided to talk back. This one's going to be an absolute cracker. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, styles make fights, as they say. But yeah, this one, they're both looking great, Nick.
It was interesting yesterday that Isaac Lowe said to Nick Ball at the press conference, are you going to buy me a pint after the fight? To which Nick Ball said, no, because I don't drink. Very, very fired up, isn't he, Isaac Lowe?
He is indeed. But that's what you want, Fletcher, at the end of the day. It's a big fight for both of them.
So a last word from you, Richie. We've still got to see Echo Esserman, Darren Tetley weigh in, and of course the huge anticipation in the room for when Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury step onto that stage as well.
Just looking around, there's people on the balconies, there's people everywhere in this sort of food hall, if you like. It's just tremendous. It's great to see British boxing so popular. Everyone wants to see now the big one, but no, I like the undercard. I think the undercard's exciting, and that last contest there, Isaac Lowe, Nick Ball, I think could be the fight of the night.
Thank you, Richie. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you stand by. The weigh-in of our co-main event and main event will be coming up shortly.
Yes, it will.
Got a message for Dillian? Yeah, you get knocked out. The king is back.
I'm sick and tired of Tyson Fury, man. He's such a fraud.
Dillian Whyte, you're not on my level. Let's have it!
No one is scared of you. Bring the pain, man.
That's me as power. I have dropped him on multiple occasions.
Untrue. Dillian Whyte couldn't drop his granny.
He just talks crap.
I put it on you in a boxing gym. You yourself.
Is there anyone else?
One of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
I survived so much things in life.
Me and Dylan are going to put it on the line.
One fight can change everything, man.
You're getting knocked spark out.
Everyone write me up. I just keep showing up.
He's refusing to show up for today's Wembley press conference.
I'll definitely win this stare down. Howard!
#1, baby!
You've gone silent. Where are you, Brilliant?
Hello? He says he's the best. I want to fight the best.
I bring the hype.
I'm a problem. It's going to go up.
Wembley's a sellout and they've all come to see me. The Gypsy King!
No more talking.
And we wait to find out if it will be quite as mannered as it was at that press conference on Wednesday here at Wembley. Not long to wait for the main events to weigh in. Our thanks for the moment to Darren Fletcher and Richie and to Thomas Treiber. We've got Lennox Lewis, the one and only David Hay, and Carl Frampton. Carl, may I start with you and that last fight, because I think it is going to be a firecracker. And Isaac Lowe against Ball. I've been wrong about Lowe. I've got to be honest with you. I've been wrong. He's done so well in his career, and apparently the last fight was an absolute barnstorm.
Yeah, he's really, really tough. I've done a lot of sparring with Isaac when I was based in Manchester, and he's full of confidence, and it hasn't really transferred over on the fight night. I know he's got bigger performances in him because I've seen him sparring in the gym. I actually remember sparring him once or twice, and I was a world champion at this stage, and he's kind of, after the rounds, topping me in the head, almost a bit condescending, really, and it annoyed me a little bit. But
I think he likes annoying people.
Yeah, I think he tries to wind people up, but I think this is going to be a good fight. Isaac's been hurt to the body before. He looks very lean, and when you have to be that lean to make weight, I think you can be vulnerable to body shots. Nick Ball is a very good body puncher. I think it's a fantastic fight, a really, really well-matched fight.
And they're that close, he and Tyson Fury, of course. Brothers in arms, quite literally. David, may I come to Tommy Fury on you. Now, when we arrived at Wembley, we walked in by the arena this morning, and there were loads and loads of young people camping out overnight. Tommy's going to think they're for me. Actually, they're not for, with every respect, Tommy, they're not for you. They're for Louis Tomlinson, who's playing in the arena, okay? But Tommy has that effect on people, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got a massive fan base. He really does. He's got the kind of although he's got the fans from the boxing fraternity because of his big brother. He's also got the sort of YouTubers he was scheduled to fight, Jake Paul, and that didn't transpire. But off the strength of that, that's raised his profile, and he's got he did Love Island. He's done some of these TV shows, so he's come from a different angle to build his brand. But it's valuable. Obviously, as you can see, the place cheered. The biggest cheer so far has been for him. Obviously, he's got the fan base from the boxers and the Fury name and brand. But he's putting his own little spin on it, so it's interesting to see where he takes it.
And Lennox, in that session of the weigh-in, we also met David Adelaide, and as Darren Fletcher pointed out, you know, he's wide-eyed at the experience, Wembley Stadium, being around the stars, but you stand out by a million miles, I've got to tell you. He grew up absolutely idolising you. And, you know, that's got to be inspirational for a young man like that, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's got to be inspirational. I mean, people idolizing you and, you know, you never get it before. It's really how you handle it. And I'm sure he's going to handle it well.
He's from Ladbroke Grove in West London, not quite your territory, but, you know, he's trying to follow the path out of amateur boxing and into the professional game and reach up to become the next in the line we've been speaking about today with Fury, Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua in this fantastic golden period for British boxing. But they've got to be careful with him, haven't they?
Yeah, you
Don't rush it. You didn't get rushed.
You can't get rushed. You got to have the right fights. You got to have the right trainer and do the right things. I think, you know, he shouldn't really depend too much on his power. He really should get back to the fundamentals. It's very important. And, you know, he should be okay. Sparring with the Fury camp is going to give him a lot of boost and confidence in his ability. So that's great that he's actually sparring with the Fury.
And it's great for us that you're with us. Thank you, Lennox, for the moment. More from David and more from Carl Frampton. We'll be getting up to the stage again in just a few minutes. Those are the preliminaries completed here at Box Park. To come, the weigh-in for the co-main and main event, Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte.
Got a message for Dillian? Yeah, you get knocked out, Mickey. The king is back.
I'm sick and tired of Tyson Fury, man. He's such a fraud.
Dillian Whyte, you're not on my level. Let's have it!
No one is scared of you. Bring the pain, man.
When Tyson Fury's power, I have dropped him on multiple occasions.
Untrue. Dillian Whyte couldn't drop his granny.
He just talks crap.
I put it on you in a boxing gym, you yourself. Is there anyone else?
One of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
I survived so much things in life.
Me and Dylan are going to put it on the line.
One fight can change everything, man.
You're getting knocked spark out.
Everyone write me up. I just keep showing up.
He's refusing to show up for today's Wembley press conference. I'll definitely win this stare down. Howard!
Number one, baby!
You've gone silent. Where are you, Brilliant?
Hello? He says he's the best, I want to fight the best.
I bring the hype.
I'm a problem. It's going to go up.
Wembley's a sellout and they've all come to see me. The Gypsy King!
No more talking.
$94,000 people. Is there a danger, because neither of them been in front of 94,000 before, is there a danger of one of them, or even both of them, not freezing, but taking some deep breaths as they walk to the ring?
I genuinely don't believe either fighter will. I think they'll both thrive on the amount of people there cheering. I definitely feel Tyson Fury's been there before. He's been to Germany, he's been to Las Vegas, he's been there, seen it, done it. Dillian Whyte,
Collide, 94,000 tickets sold, an all-time record, and even the interest in the weigh-in today, we haven't seen this very often over the years. We've got Lennox Lewis, we've got David Hay, and we've got Carl Frampton as we wait for the two top fights are prepared to weigh in. Esserman against his opponent. Esserman, a very late change in his schedule, incidentally, which we'll get to, and then it will be Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Now, Lennox, if I come back to you on something we spoke about earlier on the show here, and the mind games that went on at the press conference. Again, you were the all-time master of mind games, knowing when to turn it on, knowing when to leave the other guy guessing. Would you have had a strategy for a day like this?
Absolutely. You got to have a strategy. You got to have a strategy A and strategy B. If strategy A doesn't work, then you got to jump to strategy B. And if B doesn't work, then you got to throw everything out the door.
The problem is he was a great chess player, and I think he could have been a PhD in mathematics. And long time ago, you began to lose me. So let's go back to plan A. What was plan A?
Plan A was to go out and do what I need to do. It's always, you know, we've been studying this guy for so long and studying the punches that we need to throw. So we basically have to go in there and do it. Do what the strategy was. If that's not.
But how do you apply that to the weigh-in day? How do you get inside the guy's mind?
Oh, well, right now, the first day they were smiling at each other. Maybe they're going to be smiling at each other today, or maybe Tyson Fury's going to come out with some type of antic. You never know what's going to happen.
Were points to be proven? You had, dare I mention it, how many explosive meetings with people before the day of the fight? Was it always planned in your case?
Not really. Normally it's quite reactive. In my mind, I know how I want to get my point across, and whether it's a press conference, a weigh-in, you know there's going to be a bit of back and forth, but you got to kind of wing it from time to time. I've had to end up with slap people and done all sorts of crazy stuff.
Yes, I know, David.
But as a result of that, it does get people excited, and it's kind of it's a bad thing, but a good thing for the numbers when they.
And what happens, Carl, if you're thinking he's not buying my line here today? What do you do then?
I don't know. I've never had too many hostile weigh-ins, to be honest. The only one really was, I fought this guy twice, Kiko Martinez, and the first time...
I was going to mention that.
So the first time he really put it on me, and I wasn't expecting it.
You weren't ready for that, were you?
Because it was in Belfast, it's my hometown. So the second time I fought him, I put it on him just to let him know that I'm here. But that's the only time I really had any sort of strategy going into a weigh-in. I just normally took it with a flow. But what people do, this kind of lulling people into this false sense of security. You see it in sparring all the time, touching gloves. I'm your best, mate. How you doing, mate? And they'll try and take your head off. That's what happens.
Nice game, isn't it? But we love it. And we've got all the stars from both sides of the Atlantic Ocean. We've had Thomas Schreiber, and Thomas, like the gentleman he is going to give away to one of the all-time great MCs. I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying that about him. The one and only Jimmy Lennon is on the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you, and we welcome you to the official weigh-in for our tremendous night of action coming away tomorrow night from Wembley Stadium in London. And it's all brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated. Well, fans, our co-main event of the evening is scheduled 12 rounds of boxing. It is for the British Boxing Board of Control, IBF European, and the Commonwealth Welterweight Championship. Let's bring our fighters to the scale at this time. The weight limit on this fight is 147 pounds. First, we invite the challenger to the stage. With a record of 21 wins, 2 losses, he has 9 wins. Coming by way of knockout from Bradford, England, please welcome the southpaw contender, the challenger, Darren Tetley.
So here comes Darren Tetley, who has experience of a stadium fight. He fought at Ellen Road on an undercard of a Josh Warrington fight. So it's not quite 94,000, Richie, but he's certainly got experience in what he's going to walk into tomorrow to a certain level.
Well, that will certainly be will help him and be an advantage for him, Tetley, but he is stepping up here. Awkward southpaw Tetley. He's only lost to 2 good opponents as well. Samuel Antwi, he lost in the 6th round knockout, and Liam Taylor. Apart from that, he's boxed really well during his career. But like I said, he's lost 2 of his last 3 though, Fletch. That's his problem coming into this.
Darren Tetley weighs in at 145 pounds, 12 ounces. 145, 12 ounces for the challenger, Darren Tetley. And now we invite to the scale the champion, undefeated 16-0 with 7 knockouts from Nottingham, England. Here's the undefeated Echo, the Engine Essuman.
So the champion on the scales.
146 and 8 ounces, 146 and 8 ounces for the champion, Echo, the Engine Essuman.
This should have been the main event at York Hall next week, but it's been brought forward by a week when Anthony Kakachi's opponent couldn't get a visa to get in from Colombia. Lucky, really, Richie, that both of them were on weight and were able to step in and be the co-main event tomorrow night. Yes,
that just shows that they've took their, the preparation very seriously. They're already on the way. It's a good week before the contest. That's proper professionals for you. So Essuman, though, I remember him from the GB days as an amateur. Very dedicated boxer indeed.
I had a bit of breakfast with Echo Essuman this morning, and he was so on weight that he was able to eat a bit of yoghurt and a couple of slices of meat, so he was okay this morning. So no problem, and he made weight very easily. He's a lovely, approachable fella. He's the champion, and he said to me this morning, he said he dreamt on Monday night that he was on the bill, and then he found out Tuesday night that he was. He said it was almost destiny, so he's happy to be here. Darren Tetley's got a big opportunity, and it's going to be a really good co-main event tomorrow night.
I'm looking forward to it. I like Essuman because, like I said, I've helped train him up at GB. As an amateur, and he's a very dedicated boxer. But Tetley's an awkward southpaw, so it could be an awkward night for Essuman.
And it's the co-main event of the evening, 12 rounds for the British IBF European and Commonwealth Welterweight Championship. Echo Essuman versus Darren Tetley.
Confident look on the face of the champion who's doing all the talking up there, Richie. He's in a jam-packed division, though, a very, very deep division at welterweight. I said to him this morning, if you do get a world title fight, you know it's going to be a belter, because you've got the champions in the division. Of course, if he can win this one tomorrow night, he can continue to climb those rankings if he possibly can. So Echo Esserman against Darren Tetley in the co-main event before Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte at Wembley Stadium tomorrow.
And ladies and gentlemen, the official weigh-in for the main event coming up shortly. It's the Heavyweight Championship of the World.
Jimmy, thank you very much indeed. The main event fighters, as Jimmy says, are almost ready. Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte, no additional hype is needed.
Got a message for Dillian? Yeah, you get knocked out. The king is back.
I'm sick and tired of Tyson Fury, man. He's such a fraud.
Dillian Whyte, you're not on my level. Let's have it!
You can't get in my head, dude. You're just going to find a lot of disturbance in there. I just want the violence to begin.
Dillian Whyte couldn't drop his Grammy.
He just talks crap.
I put it on you in a boxing gym, you yourself. Is there anyone else?
One of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
I survived so much things in life.
Me and Dylan are going to put it on the line.
One fight can change everything, man.
You're getting knocked spark out.
Everyone write me up. I just keep showing up.
He's refusing to show up for today's Wembley press conference. I'll definitely win this stare down. Howard!
#1, baby!
You've gone silent. Where are you, Brilliant?
Hello?
Where are you?
He says he's the best. I want to fight the best.
I bring the hype.
I'm a problem. It's going to go up.
Wembley's a sellout and they've all come to see me. The Gypsy King!
No more talking.
I think they will have a bit more to say in a little while, but I want to pick up not on words, but on what it said there in that banner at the end of it. The Gypsy King. Now, Tyson Fury comes into this as the recognised king of the world heavyweight division. Is it important, in your own opinions, gentlemen who've been there, you first, Lennox, that he demonstrates who actually is the boss?
Yeah, I mean, I look at it like this. You know, Tyson Fury's got a lot of ring IQ, so he's got to bring that out in the fight. And
today also. Has he got to do that today?
He's got to do that today as well. And I think when he comes out into the fight, or actually into the weigh-in, you know, I don't even know how he's going to come out really. His body's got to come out positive. He's going to come out the same way he's always come out. He's going to be confident and he's going to be jolly and, you know, getting ready to fight.
Again, as mentioned, David, Dillian Whyte did a really good job. I thought he projected himself brilliantly at that press conference. But is this the moment when he actually understands what he's in the middle of?
Yeah, they know that when it comes to the weigh-in, the talking's pretty much done. That you've put whatever message you wanted to out there, and now it's time to see your opponent with his top off, like you're going to do the following day, tomorrow. And it does turn the engine on. That's when you look at him and you know, okay, it's not about banter, it's about we're going to war now. So I definitely feel they're going to turn up the aggression levels, because they know when they look each other in the eyes now, then it's the last time before they step into the ring, and it's a meaningful moment. So Dillian Whyte needs to make sure he keeps his cool, but if Tyson Fury starts playing games, he's got to be willing to go with him. When I'm saying that, it could get a bit push and pull a little bit, but Dillian can't allow himself to get manhandled in a situation like that.
Not far away, I understand, thank you. But just a word from you, Carl, before we do go back to Jimmy Lennon. Does it ever cross your minds, and actually Tyson Fury mentioned this last week, we don't get paid for falling off the stage. We don't get paid for hitting each other today.
But
okay?
this is where it gets real, and I think what's important, and look, they may go up there with an idea of being respectful to each other, but if someone tries to push or get involved in any sort of nasty business, you don't want to come off second best. You want to remain strong. These are big heavyweights, proud men. They want to come out looking good after this weigh-in.
Lennox, you want to come in on that?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, it always reminds me of what Don King always said. You know, especially when two fighters get in close or try and get into a fight. Don't do it. Let them pay for it. Don't give it to them for free.
I have been in a room on enough occasions, you know, and when you give me the stare, and I've known you since you turned professional, but there are two Lennox Lewises, trust me. There's the gentleman and there's the professional champion, and when you turn that stare on, it's very icy indeed. Is it important that those guys deliver that kind of message to each other?
Yeah, I think they'll both be looking at each other. Like I said, Dillian Whyte just came out of camp, so he's like this. He can catch flies. So it's really just the last stare down before the fight. And I think both guys just really want to get it on and want to get in the ring.
Let's do it now, Lennox. Thank you very much. Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the official weigh-in for the highly anticipated main event of the evening, the Heavyweight Championship of the World, brought to you by Frank Warren for Queensberry Promotions in association with Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated. Sponsored by 32 Red, Unibet, Foot Asylum, Coinfield, and Arnold Clark. Well, fans, here we go at 12 rounds of boxing. This is for the WBC and Lineal Heavyweight Championship of the World. First, we invite to the scale the challenger from Brixton, London, England, the WBC interim heavyweight title holder. Here is the heavy-handed WBC #1 ranked contender, introducing the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte.
You'd say a mixed reception for a man who tomorrow night is going to fight the biggest fight of his life.
Indeed, just strips off now, and Dillian just going up to the scales very shortly.
It'll be fascinating to see what weight he comes in at. About 17.5 stone is the optimum weight, we think, for Dillian Whyte.
I think he performs better around that weight.
253 pounds, 4 ounces. 253 pounds, 4 ounces for the challenger, the body snatcher, Dillian Whyte.
It's just a little bit heavier than what we normally would say.
A fraction over 18 stone, Richie.
Yeah, that's it. Normally,
and now, ladies and gentlemen, to the scale at this time, the defending champion makes his return to the UK. The two-time world champion in his 5th world title appearance. Here is the undefeated, reigning and defending WBC and Lineal Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
Great reception for the champion, who holds the famous green belt in the air and regally walks around the stage.
You can certainly see who the crowd are going for here, and mostly Tyson Fury fans. A few for the Brixton Bomber though, Dillian Whyte, but yes, most in here. You can see them waving, clapping, phones are in the air. They're all for Tyson Fury.
Not quite as smiley as he was at the press conference, maybe a different mood for the heavyweight champion today. Tends to be the bigger the better when he gets on the scales. That seems to be the way of it. The bigger he was against Deontay Wilder, the better he was.
Indeed, he's unique, isn't he, Tyson Fury? He's such a big frame, he seems to be able to carry that weight.
£264, 13 ounces. 263 pounds, 13 ounces for the defending champion, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
So he's about a stone lighter than he was against Deontay Wilder for the 3rd fight. 19 stone 11 for that. He was 19-10 when he made his comeback against Safari. About 18 stone 8, so significantly lighter for this one against Dillian Whyte. And there's the stare down, and there is the height advantage that Tyson Fury has over Dillian Whyte. The smiles are gone.
Absolutely serious stuff now. Tyson just standing on his tiptoes, just showing Dillian Whyte how big he is and the advantage that he's got over him. But Dillian Whyte is taking all in his stride. Yeah, there's a lot of respect there, but they're serious.
Yeah, that's nice to see.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen.
A lot of respect between the two of them.
Get any bigger than this. It's for the heavyweight championship of the world, WBC and lineal titles at stake. The #1 challenger, Dillian Whyte. The undefeated champion, Tyson Fury. Wembley Stadium. Live on BT Sport Box Office and ESPN Plus pay-per-view.
It's interesting when the two of them were on the pitch at Wembley on Wednesday that Dillian Whyte made a move to touch Tyson Fury's belt. Tyson Fury said to him, "You never touch the champion's belt." That might be why he took the cap today.
Yeah, well, you're just crossing the line there, aren't you? When you're touching the champion's belt, you want to hold the champion's belt. You just don't do it. That's the point he was making.
Give me a quick thought on the weights then, Richie. 18 stone for Dillian Whyte. There's less than a stone between them today. Did you think the gap would have been wider?
I thought Dillian might have come in just a little bit lighter than that, to be quite honest. 17.5 seems to be his best weight when he beat Povetkin. But nevertheless, Tyson Fury, it's very difficult because he's such a big man. He carries the weight very well. You know, he's very light on his feet for such a big fella. He can 18.5, 19 stone, no problem to him. He can still bounce upon his toes round after round. So he's very deceiving for a big man.
There's a party atmosphere at the box park now as well. Big smile on the face of Tyson Fury and Dillian Whyte. Also, he's arrived with the belts. He intends to go back to Morecambe with them tomorrow night. It's a great atmosphere in here.
Tyson, you're making your return to the UK, defending your title. 94,000 fans in attendance. Do you have anything to say to your fans here today, watching in live and around the world as well?
I'm so happy to be back here fighting at Wembley Stadium, and you people made it happen. You all made it happen. Every one of you's made it happen. I just want to say a big shout out and respect to Dillian Whyte and his team. Proper professional men, and we're going to give you a fucking real fight. Don't doubt us. We're going to put a show on like no other before. It's going to be a war. Don't worry about that.
Thank you so much to the defending world champion, the undefeated Gypsy King, Tyson Fury.
We're going to get up to the stage again in just a moment or two, but I'd like maybe to come to you, Lennox, for your initial impressions there on what we've just witnessed.
Yeah, it's the day before the fight. You know, they're both ready, willing, able, and all they want to do is fight. Simple as that.
You're surprised about the weight, David?
No, I think they're both obviously in great shape. They've both prepared amply, and you know, I really feel it's going to be a middle to close range fight. You know, the way Tyson Fury just went out there and said he was guaranteeing everybody a war. You know what that means? His last couple of fights were wars. So bring it on. If that's the case, that's what he wants. That's what I believe Dillian Whyte wants as well. So everybody wins.
And in terms of the weight, particularly, Carl, is Whyte coming in at that, you know, roughly 18 stone? Is that because he wants to demonstrate that it's going to be war, and if I can make it at close quarters, that's my game?
I think it suits him. I think the fight, they're expecting Tyson Fury to come on strong and start aggressively and try and use his weight and push him down. So he needs to be heavy and strong himself. I know Richie said that his best weight is around 17.5 stone, but I think they've done that on purpose. He's had a fantastic training camp, I'm sure, away from the cameras, but that is the weight that he wanted to come in at.
And that's heavier. I mentioned how well I thought he performed against Povetkin. Second fight particularly, the legs did look good and his mobility was good. And so I wonder whether he's prepared to sacrifice it.
I think it's going to be a fight. Fury's a bigger man. You know, Fury's a much bigger man, and he has to be big for this fight.
David, on that point about what it leads to in terms of strategy.
I think that Dillian Whyte hasn't trained to be an in and out fight. Uses his feet, lots of lateral movement. I don't think he can outdo Tyson Fury on the legs department. Coming from a mixed martial arts or kickboxing background, Tyson's only ever done boxing. So when it comes to the pure boxing, I'll go with Tyson. But if it becomes a fight, that's where Dillian Whyte wants it to be. That's where I think his best chance is to go into a battle zone of war and try to drown someone who's taller, heavier, naturally longer arms than you. It's a tough ask, but if anyone could do it, Dillian Whyte can.
Lennox, to you in just a moment. Thank you very much indeed. We're going to go over to Joe Ankier now.
Well, Dillian, you came out just a little bit heavier than your fights against Povetkin. Tell me the intent, the purpose of the weight you chose.
Nothing. Some fights are different. Some fights you train differently. Some fights are a little bit. But you know, I'm fighting a bigger guy, a much more heavier guy than me. So I wanted to be a little bit, But I fought at 115 before, so fine.
Tyson came out almost a stone lighter than we expected. Actually, one of the smallest weight differences between you. What kind of difference do you think that might make?
I don't know. Tyson does whatever he does. I do whatever I do. I don't know.
There seems to be a lot of respect between the two of you, dancing up there, shaking hands. How do you interpret the energy between the two of you this week?
We're ready to go to war. Trust me, we're ready to go to war. Don't let all this fool you. We're ready to go to war.
And given the smaller weight difference between you, how do you think that can affect the type of fight that we see in the ring?
Let's wait and see. I don't know. I'm not worried about what he's doing. I'm worried about what I got to do. We train hard. I'm ready. I feel fit. So let's go.
And are you enjoying the atmosphere here, the energy? Can you feel the love?
Yeah, it's good. It's very good. It's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're ready to go now, aren't you? You'd fight tonight, right?
I'm good, man. Thank you. I'm good.
Excellent. Well, best of luck. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you, Dillian. Thank you, Joe. So that's one side of the story coming off the scales. We're going to try and grab a word with the champion again now, with Steve Bunce.
Tyson, fantastic, respectful weigh-in.
Yes.
The weight, is that exactly what you wanted?
Yes, of course. I'm back.
And Dillian's weight, was that about what you expected? Maybe slightly heavier?
Yeah, it's 250. What was he? 252, 3?
Yeah.
It's a good weight for him. He's nice and stocky and strong. I'm in great shape. What was that? 263. I don't even know what that is in stones.
I've never seen you so calm. I've seen you more fired up, but I've never seen you so calm before a fight, so relaxed and so determined. There's almost a different look to your face.
For sure, there's a place for it all. Deontay Wilder's team and him, they were hostile towards us. Dillian Whyte's team and his people, they're all respectful to us. A little bit of stuff going on. They want to build a fight, and the fight's here, and we built it. Now we've got to go down to work and have a good fight.
I mean, in your head, are you at peace like you've never been before?
Most definitely, Steve. I said in this camp, I wanted it to be a great camp where I enjoyed every minute of it and take it all in, with it being my last one. And we're better to do it here at Wembley Stadium against Dillian Whyte, one of my old training partners who's made it big time. I'm happy for him. Listen, we both made millions out of this. We can't believe it. When we were in Belgium, we're going to be millionaires tomorrow. Come on, Steve.
Listen, Tyson, I'm going to let you go. It's been brilliant talking to you. Enjoy your next 24 hours. What do you do in the next 24 hours? 27 hours, what do you do?
Eat burgers and drink beer, baby.
Thanks very much, Tyson. Thank you very much indeed. Tyson Fury in proper form.
And thank you very much. We're just going to apologise, of course, for the language. Very sorry if people are offended by that. More to come from Lennox, David Hay and Carl Frampton in just a moment or two when we wrap it all up here at the Box Park. They are weighed in, and it's all about to get underway.
Got a message for Dillian?
Yeah, you get knocked out, Mickey. The king is back.
I'm sick and tired of Tyson Fury, man. He's such a fraud.
Dillian Whyte, you're not on my level. Let's have it!
No one is scared of you. Bring the pain, man.
When they Tyson Fury's power, I have dropped him on multiple occasions.
Untrue. Dillian Whyte couldn't drop his Grammy.
He just talks crap.
I put it on you in a boxing gym, you yourself. Is there anyone else?
One of the biggest fights in British boxing history.
I survived so much things in life.
Me and Dylan are going to put it on the line.
One fight can change everything, man.
You're getting knocked spark out.
Everyone write me off. I just keep showing up.
He's refusing to show up for today's Wembley press conference. I'll definitely win this stare down. Howard!
#1, baby!
You've gone silent. Where are you, Brilliant?
Hello?
Where are you?
he says he's the best, I want to fight the best.
I bring the hype.
What's my problem?
It's going to go up.
Wembley's a sellout and they've all come to see me. The Gypsy King!
No more talking.
Does it get any better than that?